Joined by Adam Yahn, General Manager of the Cobourg Cougars. And Adam, recent announcement that the coach that ended up the end of the season is going to be the new coach going forward with Cobourg Cougars.
Yeah, we're very excited to add Dave and take the interim tag off. We were really impressed. We didn't get the wins that we necessarily wanted, but we liked the difference in the structure, the systems, and just the overall development in our players. And we think a full system with Dave at the helm will serve our players and do them wonders.
At the end of the season, David brought on a couple of guys, one being a former Cobourg Cougar, the captain of the team who led the team to the RBC Cup champion, Josh McGuire. What's the status of those two guys, of those two individuals?
We're going to try and keep the staff as much as we can. Obviously, Josh playing at the University of Ontario, I guess Ontario Tech now, is going to be busy throughout the season. So we may be looking at a third person aside from Josh, but as it stands right now, the staff will continue.
So obviously, Adam, with COVID-19, it has changed and thrown everything in a blender and upside down. Season got canceled, rightfully so. Many questioned that decision maybe 3 weeks ago when it was canceled. But I think now, hindsight, now it was the right call by the league. But what does this do for not only the Cobourg Cougars but all junior clubs now that that this is thrown out? There's no hockey. You can't scout kids anymore. So what does this do for off-season planning, not only for yourself but the coaching staff?
It's been a whirlwind. Let's just put it that way. From everything from your recruitment, in terms of typically you go and meet with kids and go out and scout, use this time to scout. There's just no hockey playing, so you resort back to video. Thankfully, Hockey TV's got a good selection of video that you can go and look at players. We were lucky though. We started in January already with our scouting staff going out to different tournaments and different games. So we had a head start. We're confident with the list that we've pulled together, and we'll also be looking at more of our junior A, junior B targets as well to bring in. It just changes your whole vision of what you're wanting to do for next year and adapt. I think that's the biggest thing. There's obviously bigger things going on in the world that we have to be mindful of. First and foremost is the safety of our players, the staff, making sure that they're training, but at the same time making sure, most importantly, that they're staying safe and their families are safe. And then there's also different aspects when it comes to like our spring camps, our Ontario Junior Development League, that is opportunity for prospects that we may not have been able to see or be able to evaluate them in a junior A environment. Those are gone by the wayside right now. So it's all in flux, and it's an unprecedented time, and it's going to be very interesting. It's all about planning. It's all about planning and being ready for that. When the league says you're good to go, we're good to go.
I know there was some rumble or some talk that wasn't the way that some of these overage kids should be able to go out. Unfortunately, the Cougar season was done by that. I was surprised that your new coach, Dave, threw out an idea where maybe, rightfully so, that these kids maybe should get another overage year next year.
Yeah, it's tough. No matter where you want to help the kids out, it's frustrating for sure, and you feel for those overage players that lost out. You think even for the teams that would have traded or spent money or traded assets to acquire players, you always think of that. The truth is again, it's bigger than this. You also have to think of the players that are coming up. So what's the trickle down? So if the OHL keeps an extra overage, or how does that affect us? Us with the midget, junior C, there's just more pieces at play. I can't see it happening myself. You just hope that those players get a chance to play hockey next year at a different environment.
Sticking on with the team and with the players that would be returning, how are you staying in contact with them? I see that you're starting to throw some social media posts to keep everybody up to date as to what's going on. How much in contact are you with those guys that potentially could come back next year?
We've got a group chat going. Dave's been doing a fantastic job with keeping in touch with them, and I've been chipping in here and there. Really very much trying to build that relationship further, install that relationship with Dave and the players. So he's been taking a lot of that, but we check in with the families and that side of things as well.
The league got on board early, and when I say league, I say the OJHL. And early on in COVID-19, they put out a book to all the teams called Supporting You Through COVID-19. Talk about that and the information that was available that you could pass along to the players and their families early on in this.
Yeah, it comes from our first assist program, and that program was established really focusing on the mental health side of the game, understanding that there's a lot of pressure on these kids, whether it's school, whether it's advancing in their careers, and they just put a lot of pressure on themselves. So this is the first assist program that really targeted mental health. We have a seminar each and every year. Each team has to go through it. And so we had the foundation in place that the league was able to then turn that into a piece that can be targeted to COVID, because as we're seeing, as we get more and more into it, self-isolation, being away from people is really taking an effect on people's mental health. And that's most important. And that's why we're, with having the resources that we already had, we were able to transform that into something that was targeted towards COVID for our players and their families.
So how do you progress further now and into the foreseeable future, I guess, in this unknown?
It's very much situational planning. So basically going month by month and seeing, well, if we start up in July, or if we start up in August, or if we start up in September, what can we do? How does training camp look like? Do we have camps? Do we have the ability to assess players? It's being flexible, and that's the biggest thing. It's just planning your summer out and being ready to go at the drop of a pin.
Has there been any discussions from the league as to the future, or they letting this play out before they have any further comment?
We're having regular meetings with the league, both at the governor level and also the GMs. We're meeting about once a month just to keep on touch and in touch and on top of things. And they've been very good as a league with both the CGHL and Hockey Canada, keeping teams informed. With the OHL proceeding with the draft tomorrow, we'll get some more certainty in terms of other young prospects that you're looking at, specifically the minor midget group and heading into midget. So that will give some more certainty into our season. But right now, they're doing a very good job. It's keeping in touch with everyone, and so that when you're ready to go, you get ready to go.